Long ago, in a quiet African village surrounded by thick forests and red earth, there lived a young girl named Amina. She was different from the other children. Her eyes were always full of questions, and her laughter carried far, like the sound of a talking drum. People said she was too curious, too bold for a child. But one day, everything changed. Amina went missing for 3 days. When the hunters finally found her, she was lying by the riverbank, her skin pale, her breathing faint. The villagers thought she was gone. Without waiting too long, they dug a shallow grave at the edge of the forest and buried her. But that night, strange things began to happen. Old Mama Titi, the oldest woman in the village, claimed she heard footsteps outside her hut. The sound was soft, like bare feet dragging on dry leaves. She thought it was a dream until she heard a child's voice whisper her name. Mama Titi. Mama Titi. The old woman trembled, clutching her wrapper tightly. Who is there? She asked. But when she opened the door, no one stood there. Only the night breeze moved through the trees. The next morning, a small child ran into the village crying. She said she saw Amina, alive, standing near the same river where she had been found before. The villagers laughed at first, thinking it was just childish imagination. But the girl insisted. Her dress was torn, and her feet were covered in soil, as if she came from the ground. By the third night, more people began to whisper. Some claimed they saw a figure walking slowly past their huts at night. Others said they heard a girl singing a lullaby by the riverbank. And then came the most chilling sign of all. At the family compound, Amina's mother woke up in the middle of the night. She thought she heard her daughter's voice calling softly. Mama, I am cold. Mama, let me in. The woman's heart nearly stopped. She ran outside, but the compound was empty. Only the old mango tree stood silent, its branches swaying. Fear spread across the village like wildfire. Could it be that Amina was not truly dead? Could it be that they buried her alive? The elders called for a secret meeting. They sat under the big Iroko tree, their faces stern. The village head cleared his throat. This matter cannot be ignored. If Amina truly walks at night, we must find out why. A soul that cannot rest may bring danger to us all. Mama Titi, her wrinkled face lit by the moon, spoke softly. I warned you all. You buried her too quickly. The earth does not hold what is not ready to be held. And so, the mystery of Amina began. Was she truly alive? Or had something darker taken her place? On the fourth night after Amina's burial, something happened that shook the village to its core. A group of boys had gone to the forest to set traps for small animals. But as they returned, they saw someone standing by the edge of the road. It was a girl, thin and trembling, her eyes shining like wet stones. She wore the same faded orange dress that Amina had been buried in. The boys froze in fear. One of them dropped his basket. But the girl lifted her hand slowly and whispered, "Please, help me." The boys screamed and ran straight to the elders' compound. Breathless, they shouted, "Amina is back. Amina is walking." The whole village gathered. With torches in hand, they followed the boys to the forest road. And there she was, Amina, standing quietly, staring at them as if from another world. Her mother rushed forward, crying, "My daughter! My daughter!" She tried to hold her, but Amina stepped back. "Mama, why did you leave me in the dark? I was not gone. I was still breathing when you covered me with soil." The villagers gasped. Her voice was soft, but heavy with pain. "I scratched and scratched inside the ground, but nobody heard me. The earth was heavy. I wanted to shout, but no sound came out. I slept, but I did not rest." Mama Titi stepped forward, her hands trembling. "Child, you were buried alive." Amina turned her eyes toward the old woman. "Yes, Mama Titi. The earth swallowed me, but it did not keep me. Now I walk, because I cannot sleep. The crowd fell into silence. Some villagers wept, others whispered prayers. The head of the village raised his staff and said, "If she truly speaks, then she is not a spirit. She is one of us. But we must know what kept her alive in the grave." Amina lowered her eyes. "The earth spoke to me. I heard voices in the soil. They told me not to give up. They told me to wait. And when I woke, the ground above me was soft. I pushed, and I came out." The villagers shivered. No one had ever heard of such a thing. That night, Amina was taken back home. Her mother held her close, afraid to let go. But Amina did not sleep. She only sat by the fire, staring into the flames. When asked why, she whispered, "The night is not my friend anymore. The night reminds me of the soil pressing on my chest." And from that night, a new fear began in the village. Because every evening, as the moon rose, people claimed they saw Amina walking slowly near the forest, her eyes watching, her steps silent. She was alive, but something about her was not the same. Days turned into weeks, and still Amina did not live like other children. She ate little, she spoke less, and she slept almost never. At night, her mother would beg her to rest, but Amina always whispered, "The soil is calling me. I cannot close my eyes." One evening, Mama Titi invited Amina to her hut. She lit a small oil lamp and placed a bowl of herbs before her. "Child," she said, "you carry more than the weight of the earth. Something followed you from the grave." Amina's lips trembled. "I know, Mama Titi. When I was under the ground, I heard a voice. It was not the earth's voice, it was darker, older. It said, 'If they bury you before your time, you will never belong to the world of the living, nor the world of the dead.'" Mama Titi's hands shook. She had heard stories like this in her youth, tales whispered by elders long gone. "Then it is true," she muttered. "You were cursed by unfinished death." Amina's mother gasped. "Cursed? What does that mean for my child?" Mama Titi looked grave. "It means she cannot rest until a ritual is done. If not, she will walk every night, forever, between life and death. And her shadow will never join her own." The villagers grew restless. Some began to fear Amina more than they pitied her. Children hid when she passed. Men whispered, "What if she brings misfortune? What if her presence invites spirits into the village?" But her mother refused to abandon her. She cried, "She is still my child. She breathes, she speaks, she feels pain. How can I turn away from her?" Amina herself remained quiet. She did not ask for pity, nor for fear. She only said, "I did not choose this. I only wanted to live." One night, a group of young men decided to test her. They followed her when she rose from her mother's hut and walked into the forest. They hid behind trees and watched. Amina moved slowly, almost floating, until she reached the riverbank. There she sat on the ground and began to sing softly. The song was not of the living. It was a tune no one in the village had ever heard before. The men shivered. One of them swore he saw her reflection in the river, but it was not moving like hers. The reflection smiled when she did not. Terrified, they ran back to the village. "She is not the same. She carries a shadow that does not belong to her." The elders met again. Mama Titi warned them, "If you drive her away, she will haunt this village forever. But if you accept her curse, then you must help her complete the ritual of unfinished death." The villagers were torn. To keep her might bring darkness. To send her away might bring worse. But one thing was clear, Amina's story was not just about survival anymore. It was about a curse that could not be ignored. The ritual was set for the night of the full moon. The whole village gathered by the big Iroko tree, their faces lit by firelight. drums beat slowly, like the sound of a heavy heart. Amina stood in the center, her orange dress torn but clean. Her mother held her hand tightly, unwilling to let go. Mama Titi prepared the herbs, the calabash of water, and the sacred staff carved with ancient marks. The ritual was simple but dangerous. Amina had to lie in the earth once more, but this time not as the dead, but as the living. Only if the earth accepted her could the curse be broken. The crowd whispered, fearful yet curious. Some prayed she would return whole. Others doubted she would return at all. Mama Titi raised her staff. Let the ground that once betrayed her now release her. Let the soil that swallowed her now give her back. A shallow pit was dug, and Amina stepped inside. She lay down slowly, her eyes wide open, her breathing calm. The villagers covered her gently with leaves and a thin layer of soil, leaving her face uncovered. The drums grew louder. Mama Titi sprinkled herbs and chanted words older than memory. At first, nothing happened. Then, the ground began to tremble slightly. Amina's body stiffened. Her eyes rolled upward as if she were listening to something deep below. Suddenly, her mouth opened, and a voice came out, but it was not hers. It was deep, echoing, ancient. She was taken before her time. She belongs to neither side. Release her, or let her walk forever. The villagers fell to their knees, trembling. Mama Titi struck the staff on the ground. She must be released. She must live as the child she was meant to be. The earth groaned. The leaves covering Amina's body rustled. And then, with a loud gasp, she sat up. Her chest heaved, her skin glistened with sweat, and her eyes glowed with life. The strained voice was gone. Amina looked around and whispered, "Mama." Her mother rushed forward, holding her tightly. Tears streamed down her face. "You are mine again. You are mine." The villagers cheered, but cautiously. Though Amina was freed, none could forget the nights she had walked between life and death. Mama Titi warned them, "She is restored, but let her always be honored. For she has crossed where none should cross, and returned." From that day, Amina lived again like a child. She laughed, she played, she slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. But the villagers never forgot the sight of her walking in the moonlight, her shadow moving differently. And so, even today, mothers in that land tell their children, "Do not rush to bury the still and the weak. For the earth may take what is not yet ready. And sometimes, those buried alive may still walk at night."